you'll hear. Okay, ready? I've got 9 o'clock. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Roll call. Carol Sue, please.
Ron Miller.
Present.
Chris Armstrong.
Here.
Mayor Franklin.
Here. Thank you. Approval of minutes, July 19th meeting.
I would offer a motion to approve as presented the minutes of the July 19th meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Approval of claims in the amount of $306,820.50.
Before I make a motion on the claims, could I ask Carol Sue to tell us a little bit about the $111,000 claim for...
The $111,000 claim is a request for the reimbursement to CEDIP for the Lexington Road project. It was in the amount of $111,000. And ordinance 2008-47 is the document that says that is where that money has to go back to.
Thank you.
The TIF money.
Okay. Are there any further questions regarding the amount of the claims or the payment of the claims?
Hearing none, I'll make a motion we approve the claims in the amount of $306,820.50.
I would second that motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The claims are approved on a vote of 3-0. Approval of licenses. There are 3 requests. Approval of electrical licenses today. Jeffrey Martin, David Kinder, and Lauren Bravant.
I would make a motion we approve the 3 license applications.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries on a vote of 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Changes to the agenda. Are there any? Hearing none. Any old business? None. New business. Kathy Dingo would like to make a request for a closure of a street for Logan's Landing, the taste of, it's just the taste now, isn't it?
Taste of Cass County.
Is it still Cass County? Somewhere in here I have your drawings. There they are, and sketches. I understand the request, and it's going to be for Friday, August 10th, from Friday, August 10th through Monday, August 13th. 4 days. Is that to allow them to take down the tents when they're finished? So,
correct. And actually, I probably can open up most of it on Sunday. I'm trying to get the tent company to come back on Sunday morning early. So okay. I just covered myself in case they don't get
right.
there.
Very familiar with it. It's the good work that you folks do down there, and I do appreciate it. I know, speaking for myself, we're very happy to accommodate this request. Does the rest of the board have any questions? No?
I'd make a motion we approve the request to close the streets as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion or comments? No? Okay. All in favor of allowing the closure of Melbourne Avenue during the Logan's Landing Taste of Cass County signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries on a vote of 3-0. Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you very much.
All right. Supplemental agreement, Broadway construction. I've asked Paul Hartman to come here and bring the board up to date on this. It's sort of an unusual request, but Paul knows the history, and I would just ask you to elaborate a little bit on that so we go on the record of saying what this is about.
This is the last phase of the US 24 relinquishment project that began, I believe, in the year 2000 probably, by Mayor Bill Vernon, actually. And this is I believe the first phase was Broadway and Market East and West, and then we did a section downtown, and this is the last phase of Market Street. This project was actually completed in March of 2010, but it takes about 2 or 3 years for NDOT to finally say, yes, you've done all the paperwork. And then when they finally say that, those people move on and you get new people in, so they have to say it all over again. And all this, that's how the state works, right, Randy? That's how the state works, right? You just kind of keep on doing things 2 or 3 times. So that's essentially, sometimes you don't hire an engineering firm based on what the state might do. You hope that it's going to be done within 2 or 3 months of the project's end. So this $18,000 is a supplementary agreement to allow the engineer to continue working on that, get it done. Hopefully it's going to be done in the next month or 2, but we really don't know for sure. That is 80% paid by the state, and 20% or $3,600 will be paid by the city out of the funds already appropriated for that.
Okay, I just felt more comfortable in having you come to explain that. It's
not easy.
I had a little bit of a difficult situation a couple months ago with a similar project through Eastgate, work that started in 2000 or 2001, and we finally received the last invoice for it just a couple months ago. So I felt like it was important enough to have you come and explain it.
No problem. That is how road projects usually work, is it takes a matter of years before you get things taken care of.
Okay. I would make a motion to approve the supplemental agreement for the Broadway construction with the understanding that the invoice for the work will be coming sometime in the next 90 days.
And there should be 3 originals. One should go to Carol Sue, one should go to the engineer, and one should go to NDOT.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, I ask for a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Report from the acting building commissioner. Deb? Hey, Deb.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
I'm going to go through my report first, and then we'll come back to the other stuff.
Okay.
I did 3 building inspections this week, 7 permits. We only had a value of $20,300 this week, so it was a little slow. And I mailed 3 contractor registrations. I ordered Jeff Murray to appear. He has not signed for his letter. It has not come back yet, but he did not sign for it either. So
Okay.
I look for it to come back any day now. But the reason I ordered him to appear is because he has 5 properties on the condemned list. And he's given us plans of action before, which you guys should have a copy of, the ones I have. And he really hasn't done anything with any of his properties. One of them is tied up in court, and that's the one behind 212 South 6th Street. And I don't believe I gave you pictures for some reason of that one, but so I didn't know what you wanted to do, but I think we need to do something.
Is this the 5? Are all of these Jeff Murray's properties?
Yes.
Okay. You know what I'd like to do, but I want to make sure that we're within our rights when we do it. The last thing I want to do is tear down a house and then have to pay the person for the house.
Right.
I'm going to pass these along to the city attorney for his review and ask for his guidance on how to proceed with these. I know some of them are, there's one here, 1826 Michigan Avenue. It was at least 5 or 6 years ago that I worked that house fire. There's another one, 801 High Street. I worked that house fire. It's been a long time ago. It seems like we have no choice but to turn it over to you and go through the proper channels, and if need be, we can handle it. So after this meeting, I would pass these along to you, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
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 Thank you for that. Is there anybody else that you've ordered to appear today?
Yes, 421 Day Street, and I would like to request emergency action on that one. The garage is I'm afraid if somebody runs into it, it's going to come down. It's in really bad shape. Plus, I'd like to get the trash cleaned up out of the yard and the yard mowed. And they signed for all their letters. It's a bank. So,
Did you send them a letter indicating you wanted to tear the property down?
no, I just told them that it needed to come down. It was condemned, and I ordered them to raise it, but
Okay, how long ago did you order them to raise it?
let me look here. I hope I brought that file. Oh, it's here. Hold on a second. Bear with me. May 23rd.
I think the safest thing for us to do is to have a motion, and I recommend that motion say that we will send another letter saying that we will raise the building and send them a bill, and we'll do that in 30 days if they don't respond. We can't go tear down someone's building without them knowing that we're going to do it. That would be a wise course to take. And since they signed for all their letters, we'll be able to prove that they had notice, and that we've tried to contact them, and we want them to contact us, and if they take no action, we interpret that as go ahead and say, yeah, we consent to that building being torn down.
Okay. Is there anything else you have?
Can I really get the trash and weeds
we'll-
done on that property?
We will deal with that here just momentarily.
Okay.
I was seeing if there's anything else before we...
I would like to lift the condemnation on 1305 Spear Street, get it off the condemnation list.
It's not condemned anymore?
Not condemned anymore, there's nothing there.
All right. I think we'll do this in a number of different motions. The first one is that I would move to direct the acting building commissioner to send a letter to the owners of the property at 421 Day Street, notifying them that we're going to give them 30 days to tear the garage of the property down and to clean the property up. The garage. I mean, when I say tear it down and haul it away. If they fail to do that within 30 days, we will then take action and tear it down ourselves. That's the first motion I'd like
And
to
do you need to include language about notice of intent to clean up?
No, I think we can do the weeds right now.
Okay. I
So-
second that.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to send a notice that we will demolish the property within 30 days, or after 30 days. That's in the form of a motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes on a vote of 3-0. I would also make the motion that we order an immediate property cleanup of the trash, debris, and a lawn mowing that needs to take place, and the weeds around the property, front and back. It looks absolutely horrible. That's also in the form of a motion, and order that done as soon as possible.
Second that motion.
That's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor of the second motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that motion passes on a vote of 3-0. And I would also make a motion that we lift the condemnation on a property located at 1305 Spear Street.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor of lifting the condemnation of 1305 Spear Street signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It passes on a vote of 3-0. I would make a motion to accept the building commissioner's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of accepting the building commissioner's report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes on a vote of 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Code enforcement officer.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All of you have got a copy of my report in front of you. Do any of you have any questions on anything that I've put in there?
No questions from me.
Okay, if not, I request that you approve report as submitted. And just to give you an idea or a heads up, on the property 1305 Spear Street, hopefully today I hope to have the paperwork completed. I know the owner of the property intends to sell it to a neighbor. I want to move fairly quickly on this and get the lien put on it. So Randy, when it gets to your office, If you could expedite that, I would appreciate it. And like I said, the reason I want to get this in there as soon as we can is before he sells the property, so we may have a chance of recouping some of our money. And this morning, Street Commissioner and I are going to go out and look at the list of houses and garages and make a priority list from worst to least worst, and present a target plan for demolition of these houses. And that's all I've got.
Is there any questions for the code enforcement officer?
I would make a motion that we accept his report.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded to accept the code enforcement officer's report. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you, George. Superintendent of Public Works.
Good morning.
Morning, Dan.
Morning.
I respectfully submit my report for the Public Works Department of Logansport. This includes the Mount Hope Cemetery and any and every street in the city of Logansport. If you take time and thumb through, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to address them. It's been a very, very busy week with the storm. I learned a lot about trees this week.
How many trees did we clean up, we the city?
Including the cemetery, 17 full-size trees. I mean full-size.
And how many limbs? Were there other limbs that just came
There
down?
are
Or
approximately 28
other locations?
full-size limbs that we run a regular, what we call a brush route. This does not include the brush route.
Okay.
Mr. Williams,
Yes, sir.
here on the case item 14, the bottom of page 1 of your report, the disinterment and reinterment of a grave. Is this the lady from Hawaii?
Yes, sir.
Everything went smoothly there?
Very smoothly, yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
And just to note at the top of your report, internments are up like 50% this year over last year.
Yes, sir.
He's a good salesman.
That goes, that's a good comment, and I went back and it's sort of, there's no way of tracing it, you know, but it does fluctuate.
Thank you. If there are no other questions, I'd make a motion to accept the Board of Works report.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded to accept the Superintendent of Public Works report. Hearing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, and pass on a vote of 3-0. Chief Clark.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Dan, if you'd see me after this meeting. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
I've submitted a letter to you. I do have a correction to that letter. I was going to ask the board for approval today to hire 2 officers. It's going to be correction of just Mr. Beaver at this time. I hope to have the paperwork back yesterday. It did not happen. We have to have that before we can actually hire. So hopefully later today I'll receive that paperwork. So with my request, I would just request at this time that you consider the hiring of Jared C. Beaver for probationary police officer for Logansport Police Department.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to add in your report?
Now, on Mr. Beaver, 26-year-old. He resides in Flora, Indiana. He has a Bachelor's of Science degree. Very good young man. I've spoken to him several times. I think he'll do a good job as a police officer here in Logansport for the community.
Okay. Any more questions for the chief? I make a motion to first approve the recommendation of the chief for the hiring of Jared C. Beaver for the position of probationary patrolman.
I second that motion.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objection? All right. All in favor of approving the hiring of Jared C. Beaver signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Jared, if you would, stick around. We'll go through the formal swearing-in ceremony after this. And I would also make the motion to approve the chief's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of approving Chief Clark's report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes on a vote of 3-0. Fire Chief Strong is on vacation this week. There will be no report. Board member comments?
No.
There are no board member comments. Visitor comments? Anybody? Okay, no visitor comments. Miscellaneous business, including matters not already considered. Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. We're adjourned.